All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Black Diamond. It's the Black Diamond Podcast. Welcome back for another episode. And yeah, you guys are coming to the show, coming for the first time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, hit that notification button so you hear me when I'm about to come on. We're starting the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7:30, with guests to come. Maybe got some surprises on the way. But yeah, you guys see the topic. Why six figures is just the beginning. And we're gonna break that down. We're gonna break down why I say that, what it means to be a six-figure earner, and why that is just the beginning. Okay. Give me a second, guys. Let me just bring up some stuff. We're gonna get into this. So I hope you guys have been enjoying my other live streams, getting into some other topics. If you guys have any other topics that you want me to talk about, feel free to reach out, send me an email, or send me a message on any of my social media platforms. I will take the time out to respond if you want to get in touch with me. Let's test out these camera angles, give it a few times, maybe get some more people coming in. Yeah, I think I'm flipping with this one. Okay. All right. So there's been a lot of, I feel like there's always been stir in social media today where everybody's always talking about this 50-50 conversation and what men and women bring to the table, things like that, right? That conversation's always been talked about, been around for the longest. So now we're gonna dive deep into why you as a man improving and getting better with your life. It's important that you have the financial component with that set in place before you actually make any major moves into a relationship. And for all the guys out there who think, oh, women are evil for wanting money or they're gold diggers, let me tell you something. Every woman is basically a gold digger, all right? So wise words of Myron Gaines, some just hide the shovel better. But yeah, every woman wants a provider in that sense. Not really that they're going to be gold diggers, but they do want a provider. So let's get into this. Yeah, now let's go back to the same one. All right. And if you guys are watching this in the future, stay tuned because it's about to get interesting. Everybody tuning in now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave the chat, leave a message. We're gonna be chatting and talking. And who knows what the night might bring. Oh yeah, please tell me what other topics you guys want to hear. Send me a message. Connect with me. Tell me what you want me to talk about, what you want my thoughts on, my opinions on. I have a lot inside here that I just need to get out. So let's go. So why the money matters? Why do we talk about this six-figure earner? What does that six-figure mean, and how do you hit that threshold, right? So six-figure earner is basically somebody who makes over $100,000 per year, which, if we look at other factors, that is going to be a hurdle for some, but it's definitely an achievable goal, right? But why do we have that significant value on six figures? Everybody's always talking about six figures. Six figures could mean anything. I mean, up to almost $1 million, right? But you want to hit that threshold so that you can say, "Oh, I make six figures." Right? Sounds good, rolls off the tongue. Shows that you put in a little bit of work, a little bit of effort, you invested into yourself to hit that threshold. And this matters because it's an essential component of being attractive. Being attractive not only as a man in general to the public, but also to women, right? Money is not only seen as a figure amount, but it's also seen as a journey, right? Something you endured and something you sacrificed to actually accomplish that goal, right? And more often than not, when we talk about the six-figure number, we're actually talking about the mindset that you have to have that comes to earn that type of money, that comes with the territory, right? So anybody who knows someone who's really ultra successful, they don't just become ultra successful overnight. There's some type of dedication, some type of sacrifice that they have to make in order to become successful, in order to reach that level of success for money. So what we know from just looking at average incomes is that most men will never truly reach their full potential when it comes to earning. And most men will actually never hit that stride until they're in their late 30s or early 40s. All right, if you look at the average income of most men in America, I think it's below 50,000, and for women, it's possibly below 40,000. So the main thing is the mindset. You don't want to be that guy who got old in life and still has a list of goals and accomplishments that he never got to hit. You want to be that guy that has a list of accomplishments that he did hit, a journey, a story to tell. You don't want to be, you just don't want to be old and you still have things that you wish you did when you were younger. So that's really a quick description of the mindset you need to have when coming into this. You need to be a little bit more realistic with yourself, analyze where you are, and rank yourself. Where do you rank in terms of your six-figure goal, right? And that's going to take some deep analysis of yourself. Take a look in the mirror, figure that out. But one quote I always live by and go by is "Get rich or die trying." Right? 50 Cent said it first, but you really gotta live by that. It's no joke. You either want to get rich or you at least want to die trying, or be able to tell yourself that you gave it your all. That you used every opportunity, every resource that you have to really put yourself out there and become successful. Because if you didn't, you only have yourself to blame. Can't blame anybody else at the end of the day for you not becoming successful. All right, you only have yourself. And that goes into the mindset as well. The mindset of being ambitious and overall just hungry for success. That will exemplify every other area of your life. So when you're hungry for something, you're going to be more confident in what you're talking about and what you believe in. You're not going to allow anyone to just shit on your dreams or to just tell you no. No is not something that's going to be in your vocabulary, right? You're going to do everything possible to achieve your goal, and you're going to put in the time, right? When you're ambitious, you're going to make time for what you want. You're going to have a schedule. You're going to have goals set that you want to hit. So all of that comes into play when you're just overall chasing success in your life. And these are the things that women find attractive. So yeah, it's not really the number that they fall in love with. But it's the skills and the character that it took, the mindset that it took for you to accomplish these things that they're attracted to. So know that six-figure earner, it sounds nice, rolls off the tongue, but it's because you sacrificed something to get to this point, right? You didn't get here overnight. You didn't get here. You weren't born this way. And if you were, you didn't get out of the mud. Oh, switch my camera. What's going on with this camera, man? All right, anyway, put on this one. Anyway, yeah. So really, that just tells that it's a proof of success. I would say it's a proof that you know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. You're somewhat an expert in a certain subject, whether that's getting money or technology, finance, sciences. For you to hit that goal, you have to have become an expert in something, right? Uh, Also means that you're willing to take more risks than the average person. You're willing to put in the time and make sacrifices, be a little bit more risky with the decisions that you make. And that's why it's so important to utilize your time and to utilize all the resources around you so that you can make more calculated risks. We're not talking about just like gambling risk here, but you're making calculated risk that will boost your career or who you are. Also, being confident, right? Having the ability to stand up for what you believe in, your dreams, your beliefs, your goals. That's that's going to allow you to not have anybody waste your time. You're not going to take the BS as you would if you didn't have any goals in place, right? So these are all qualities and traits that go into somebody who is a little bit more successful, a little bit more on the higher earning side. And six figures is really just a figure. Like I said, it's the mindset that's more important. As long as you have the mindset of wanting to improve yourself and go out there and do better for yourself, you will do better. If you're an average earner making $40,000 per year, don't feel bad about it. You just have the mindset that you need to get better, invest in yourself, and take the time out to invest in yourself, right? You're just putting the work. So yeah, why does all of this matter? Well, this matters because we live in a society that tells men and women that they're equal and that they're on the same playing field. But what they fail to tell you is that women actually don't want a partner who is equal to them. They want a partner who is stronger, smarter, and more successful than themselves. That's really what society fails to tell men. And then men fall in this trap of going 50-50. They fall in the trap of, thinking that a relationship should be a partnership. And, it's just, that's how you get the 50% divorce rate, right? You lose your traditions, you lose your values. You go back, you go to something modern and progressive, and you think it's a new thing, but it's not. Granted, sometimes people don't know what they're fighting for until they actually get it, and I think that's what we're seeing right now with feminism. People fall for equality, feminism, and we're actually now living in this generation where we're actually seeing the effects of it. So only time will tell what will happen. So it's faster you understand that little truth that the world isn't equal and that when it comes to dating, it's definitely not equal. Women want somebody who's better than themselves. You're gonna have an easier time adjusting to that reality and knowing that you need to do better as a man. And the quicker you do that, the quicker you'll dedicate more resources, more time to invest in yourself to become better. All right. So going back to the average income for a man being under 46,000, and for a woman it's under 31,000. And if I share my screen, let's go to Black demographics. It's even worse for African American people, as we can see. So let's take a quick look at this. All right, household family median incomes. So the median household income for African American families is actually only 51,000 if they're married, a married couple, 94,000, which goes up drastically because you have two incomes. Single mother family, 41,000. Single father family, 55,000. But yeah, we're better off together than we are apart. I think everyone knows that. But only around 25% of Black women actually get married. So there's still issues within the community that we need to fix. But if we look at what other number I want to show you, individual Black income. Men working full time, 50,000. Women working full time, 44,000. So you see, when you hit that threshold of just the six-figure earner, you're going to set yourself apart from many, many different people. And that's what you want to do. You want to be able to set yourself apart. You want to be able to have a skill set that just makes you more attractive. Oh, you know what? I don't like this angle. I'll deal with it. Okay. So it's just about the mindset and having a skill set alongside of that that can set you apart from basically the average or the ordinary person. And let's play a video. Let's react to something.
The guys who don't want to be providers.
Now, I'm not a dude, so whatever. But from my experience, from talking to my uncles, my cousin, my daddy, and the men I've dated, who all provided 100% by choice. I'll say for one, the men are broke. Men who don't want to go 50-50 are broke. They don't have enough money to be a sole provider. So instead of just saying that, they feel like women are attacking them by having this requirement that they know they cannot meet or fulfill. So that's my first reason. And number two, it's going to be a hard truth to swallow that a lot of people don't want to hear, but I guarantee the person I'm about to describe are going to be the main ones in my comment disagreeing with me. So the second reason why they don't want to be providers is because they were raised by single mothers. So they never seen a man provide for a woman. So they don't know what it means to be a provider. They don't know what it looks like. So the way they brought up, men don't do anything for a woman because they were raised by a single mother who had no man. That's my response.
Okay. Yeah. So what do I even say about that, man? What do I even say about that? All right. So if we don't nip this in the butt, you're gonna have more ignorant women speaking more nonsensical things and points, just like what she said. The reason why a lot of men are going 50-50 is because that we were told that you were equal to us, when in fact you never wanted equality. Well, you did want equality, but only where it suits you. So that's where the confusion is coming into place. Men are actually pretty confused on what to provide and what not to provide. And I think that what that video proves to show most of all is that you gotta go based off people's actions rather than the words. You gotta see how they present themselves, how they show up to you, how they're treating you within the relationship. So let's just play it one more time.
The guys who don't want to be providers.
Now, I'm not a dude, so whatever. But from my experience, from talking to my uncles, my cousin, my daddy, and the men I've dated, who all provided 100% by choice. I'll say for one, the men are broke. Men who don't go.
Okay. So she's saying that, her uncle's her father who provided, right? Those typically are probably most likely older men. And what did we say before? Older men hit the financial stride in their later years of life. So it actually makes perfect sense that she would see those men as providers compared to the men that she's dating, which are probably going to be much younger. I would say maybe her 20s, who want to go 50-50. Now, it's not necessarily because they're broke. It could just be because they have other things they want to invest in, and they think, well, if you have a job and you're working, why is it that you can't pay? So it's not essentially because they're broke or they don't want to spend money. They just don't know all the time what women want, right? So she's seeing, all these men being providers in her life, and the men she's dating are not. And then she blames that on single mother households, which is just not true either. Let's continue.
50-50 are broke. They don't have enough money to be a sole provider. So instead of just saying that, they feel like women are attacking them by having this requirement that they know they cannot meet or fulfill. So
It's not because they don't want to meet or fulfill it. It's because the price is too high. She's fairly average looking. She's not 8, 9, or 10. Why would you not want to pay half? Why should a man pay full price for something that's essentially used, right? It's like buying a car off the lot. It's like, you go to a new car dealership and tells you got to make these payments, but then he's saying, oh well, it had 6 previous owners. Like, well, the price should kind of reflect that. And the price is not reflecting what's in the marketplace today. It's just not. So it's another reason why guys are upset. Let's go to this one. Actually, let's play this one. It's a good clip.
Did you have another questions that you wanted to ask over to the ladies?
Yeah, I'm gonna get right into an important
all
question. And it's not necessarily a deal breaker, so I don't want anybody to think that, but do you already have kids? Is my question.
Yes, I already have children and I do not want any more.
Jesus.
Yes, I do have.
Actually, no. Oh, this one. All right, you guys, you can't see that is Glorilla wearing a jersey that says Glow Lillard, basically because she shot her shot at Damian Lillard, and his wife actually responded in favor of it. Now, oh, well, why is this important, right? This is important because Damian Lillard, athlete, of course, multimillionaire, high earner, of course. Even though there's some semblance of a joke in his wife responding to Glorilla being part of the roster, being part of the team, right? Being part of Team Willard, there's actually a deep, dark truth into that. If you're high value enough of a man, women will share you, okay? The only way they're not going to share you is if they don't respect you or value enough to that point. But truly, if you respect yourself enough and you built your value up and you attain certain things that most men can't, then most definitely women will share you. And this, even though this is a little bit of a joke, there's definitely some truth behind it, right? I mean, you have the celebrity Glorilla, who's a millionaire, and she's shooting her shot at NBA player who's in a relationship, who's knowingly in a relationship. So I mean, it just goes to show that there's hints of it in the current marketplace right now. And if you don't know, I'm gonna break it down to you for a little bit. 80% of men are actually invisible to most women. Women only really look at the top 20% of men when it comes to dating. So you can take from that it doesn't take much to set yourself apart, or you can see the threshold as really hard. But no matter what, you do need a financial component with that. But once you do hit that threshold, the sky's the limit. Who knows where you can go? All right. So why does this matter? Why does the money matter when becoming attractive? The strive for success should not be for just attaining women or, or getting jewelry, getting designer, getting the latest car. The strive for success should be a personal goal for you. Personal goal for you to have the freedom to do whatever you want to do with your time and your money. The purpose was never to chase women or to buy designer or to get the latest car. The goal is so that you have the option and the ability to become a provider for your family and for your relationship. All right? That's the main thing people typically get wrong about the red pill. They think it's about this big push to degrade women and to just, bash women. But really, it's about improving yourself to a point where you don't have to tolerate certain levels of women. And unfortunately, having money and that financial component is just a part of that. And the true nature of the red pill is about self-improvement. Don't let anybody ever tell you different. The true nature of the red pill is about self-improvement. It's about bettering yourself every day. Because if you're not bettering yourself every day, then by default, you are regressing. So you got to be progressing every day so you can become the best version of yourself. All right. If you make the goal, so you don't want to set the goal as something materialistic, so jewelry, car, or women per se. You want to make the goal something that's going to be attainable on your journey to success. If you make the goal something materialistic, once you achieve it, there's a possibility you're going to feel empty. So if you have a clearly defined goal that's something like I want to start my business, hit this level of career status, then you'll have something to always improve on and to work on, even when you do hit that goal. So, all right. All right, so that basically goes into a little bit of what we were talking about on why six figures matters and what it means and why it's just a start. of your journey on success. Now, it looks like we have some guests in here. So let's bring them on. Hello, can you hear me?
Peace, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's your name, age, and your education level?
Okay, well, my name is Janae, but I go by Jay, and my education level is some college, I guess.
Okay.
I've done some college for business management and technology at Baker and Martinsville College. So I guess some college.
Okay. And your age?
Uh-oh. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
And your age for the last part?
Oh, my age. That's what you're waiting on? I'm 33.
Yeah.
My bad.
33. Okay.
Yeah.
Relationship status. So you're single, in a relationship, married?
I am single.
Single. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Do you want to be in a relationship or married at some point?
I've been divorced twice, so possibly. I mean, like I'm open to it. You know, if it flows my direction again.
Question.
Shoot.
Who initiated the divorce both times?
My exes,
Not you. Your ex is initiated.
not me. My exes. Yep, both times. Both of them. Well, the first one. Ooh. So long story short, with the first one, don't judge me, y'all. But I married the first one literally after a month and a half. My headspace wasn't in the right area. I had literally just survived a fire that boyfriend at that time and a mutual friend died in. And I grew up very Pentecostal apostolic background with my dad being a minister and my mom being a missionary, like throughout all my, growing up into high school. So when the fire happened, I legit thought that I was gonna go to hell and I had to hurry up and do it right. Didn't want to shack up, all of that. And this guy came along and he was talking like the same lingo. Sort of kind of and was like, all right, let's just, date through marriage. Because a lot of people be married 10, 20, 15 years, 5, whatever, and still be learning each other. So with my headspace not in the right, frame of mind, I fell for it and I married him like a month and a half later. And I stayed in it because of church or my background of, not really believing in divorce. So that was the first one.
Wait.
Long
Okay.
story short.
How long did that one last though?
That one lasted 4 years. It wasn't supposed to last 4 years. It was supposed to be done legit like the first year. But again, I've been raised to, not quit. Once you marry, you stay in it until, death do you part. My old self anyway. Now I know if I was to get married again and if it didn't work out or whatever, I wouldn't be so hung up on like sticking to it just because we started it, if that makes sense.
I mean, it does. And you got the second opportunity to be married, but that.
Yeah, and the second one.
Unfortunately, either.
The second one was too like I went into it prematurely. The second one was for the wrong reasons. So long story short, I had never dealt with a baby mama. I've only really been in 2 serious relationships my entire life for the most part.
He had a baby mom. He had a baby mom.
He had a baby mama, yeah.
You let him hit it raw. You didn't have second thoughts. Now you're a single mom.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you think that was like the main reasons why that didn't work out?
The main reason the second one didn't work out was honestly because he just wasn't ready. Like pressure, life came tumbling down. Long story short, we moved to a different state. We went viral. Actually, our initial wedding went viral. So we were featured in different magazines and news articles and all of that for the first one. But it was, like I said, done for the wrong reasons because of, influences, outside family, baby mama drama. For me, it was like, okay, hey, I win. To be all, just to be transparent, like, hey, I win, I got the ring, so maybe the drama, kind of lay off a little bit, but it didn't. And then we moved here to Texas about a year ago, and he switched jobs like, fresh starts are not easy. When you move to a different state, it comes with challenges. It comes with, different responsibilities and learning and all of that. That was communicated prior to us moving. But once we moved here, it was like a whole different page. Like it just, everything that was discussed prior to moving here was out the window. So it became hard, and he decided he wanted to be done. He just woke up one day and was like, hey, I just want out. I want to be done with marriage. And I was like, okay, because he had did it twice back home in Detroit already. So I kind of was like, three strikes, you're out, especially in a new state with no family. Sorry, y'all. I'm outside, and it's a little. I apologize, y'all. I didn't know that. I apologize, but yeah. So he decided, he just woke up and said he wanted to be out marriage, and I just accepted it. And he ended up wanting to come back like 2 or 3 months later, and I didn't allow him. And now he's moved back home, and we're completely just divorced. So yeah, I don't see you no more. I don't know where you went. Am I still on here? I don't even know, y'all. It said everyone can see and hear me, but I don't see him no more. Oh, now I see you again, but now I don't hear you anymore. This is probably why they said I should have got on my laptop and not my phone. I can't hear you.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes. I don't know what
Okay.
happened.
Great. Yeah, sorry about that.
My apologies. I apologize as well.
Oh, wait, 1 second. Sorry, guys. We do this live, a little technical difficulties. We're going to get through this.
For anybody, any guest that
Right.
comes on after me, this is why they probably recommend the laptop versus your phone.
Come on. All right, let's try this out. Can you say something?
A, B, C. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Let's see what's going on.
There you go. Intro.
Oh, shit, like that. 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 Oh,
I'm a
shit,
PhD.
like that.
Is it because I'm on the phone, Will? Can he hear me? I don't know if it's something I can do.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me now? Okay. All right, we're into some technical difficulties there.
Is it because I'm on the phone?
I don't think so. Nah, it's me. It's definitely me. But let me get one more thing. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right. You want me to got 2 devices up? Hold on. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Oh, damn. Sorry about that, guys. A little technical difficulties there, you know. So my bad. But yeah, let's get back into this conversation. So today's topic was the six-figure earner and why it's important. So I want to get your thoughts on income when you're dating. Is that a factor or is that not really a factor?
My perspective, I think it's important, but it's not like I don't feel like income or finances like it's important. Don't get me wrong. However, for me personally, like say for instance, I meet someone and they're not making six figures yet. I'm not making six figures yet. I wouldn't want to be dismissed because I'm not making it right now. However, I'm working and building towards that. So if I see effort from, whoever is pursuing me and they're actually actively building towards, becoming financially, wealthy and establishing, investments and savings and all of that, like if there's an action plan and, you know, action being done, then that wouldn't deter me. But for some people that do. If you're not making six figures right now, it's a no. For me personally, it's not a no. Like that wouldn't be a check off immediately for me personally, because like I said, you got to start from somewhere. So how am I going to judge you because you're not there right now?
That makes sense. Makes sense. So it's not really about the figure or the income, the number itself. It's more about the mindset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about that mindset? Well, can you tell me some like characteristics of that mindset that you like?
Me personally, it would be a mindset that's goal oriented. Like I said, you got to have some goals. You got to figure, you got to know where you're going, why you want to get there, who you're doing it for. Your mindset has to be driven, perseverance, being okay with obstacles coming. You got to have a strong backbone, what else? It's a lot of different attributes that come to mind when it comes to just having the right mindset, being positive, being okay with things not going exactly the way that you planned them to go, because that's the world of business. Things happen. Monkey wrenches and stuff, they come along. They happen. So
let me ask you: if you met a guy who was making 50,000, he was comfortable making 50,000, and he had everything else, like he was emotionally there for you, physically, which your type, but he was comfortable making the 50,000, would you still be willing to pursue the relationship if he had no goals for making any more money?
if that provided for, like, if how much he made was okay for the lifestyle that he desired, that wouldn't deter me. That ain't got, like, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be a no because of that.
Really?
Now,
So you'd be willing to lower your, so if you had to significantly lower your lifestyle to match his,
I don't
you
feel
would be
like you
okay with
gotta
that.
lower your lifestyle to match somebody's just because
But he's
they
making
make a different
50,000.
tax bracket than you.
He's making 50,000 though. So I mean, you would, to some degree, you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't have the option after you have kids to not work with 50,000. You would always have to work unless you guys lived like somewhere dirt cheap.
See, but I'm not in that category of women who feel like, you know, I don't have to work. I'm okay with working. I'm a boss as well. So while he's comfortable making whatever he's making, then that's his business. Me personally, I wouldn't want to be with somebody who's comfortable making just that and that alone, because it's limited.
Right.
So for me personally, as far as like who I would date, it would be a no for me because that's limited. And I don't like, I'm a very go get it. Don't stop.
So even though he had everything else, if he's not motivated, doesn't have the mindset, you're not going for it.
No.
Mm.
It's a no. For me anyway, because like I said, that drive is attractive for me. So
Yeah.
if you're okay with where you at, that means that you're okay with being comfortable. That will roll over into other areas in our relationship, in my opinion. So, that means you're never ever going to put forth extra effort. You're never going to go that extra step, that extra mile. You're always going to be comfortable just where you at. For me, that's a no.
Right.
But I'm not judging anybody who's comfortable with that, because for somebody else that works. But for me, it wouldn't.
So, all right. So say you did meet this high earner, the 6-figure earner.
Mm-hmm.
Can you list 3 things that you think he would want?
3 things I think a man would want. That's hard because I'm a woman.
Not just any man. So we're talking about a 6-figure earner, right? And do you
A
care about race?
6-figure
Do you care
earner.
about race?
I feel like.
Wait, hold on. Before you answer, do you care about race?
Do I care about race?
Yeah. Like
That's
what race
a
he
tough
is.
question for me, honestly, because I've never dated outside of my race. I've never really been approached
Oh,
to
so you
anybody.
do. So you
Huh?
do care about race. So you do care about race.
I guess. I mean, I could say what my preference is, but that don't mean that I'm closed off to any other possibility. Like, my preference definitely is a black man. Like, I would prefer to, settle down with a black king. However, like I said, I have never been in no predicament. I've never been approached by someone in a different race that matched. Put it that way. Like, I've been approached by other races, but they didn't match. Not necessarily because of race, but because of personality, because of mindset, because of, the way that they carried themselves and gone about life, but not necessarily like, ooh, you're a different race than I am. It's a no, if that makes
I
sense.
think the main thing is, would you want if you had a choice, would you want a black husband?
Yes, that's definite. Yes.
Perfect.
Cool. Easy. All right. So you do care about race. So then,
I don't know if I really want to say I care about it though, because I really.
Come on.
I've never been in a different experience to say yay or nay. Like, honestly, I don't feel like I would turn somebody away just because of their race. But again, I've never been in that predicament to really say. But I guess maybe
not turn them away, but you would prefer to have a certain race, and that's okay.
Sure.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But then you do know the figures on black men actually being able to achieve that, right?
I don't think it's impossible, but I feel like, of course, that's what society will make it look like. But
so we were going over that earlier, and the median income for a black male in 2022 is around 50,000, and then for a black woman, I think it's like a little bit under 45,000. So when I bring up this 6-figure earner, it's not just any man, right? He's well above the average or the median income. So going back to the question, what are 3 things you think he would want?
3 things I think, honestly, that he would want would be someone who probably, I mean, this is my guess. I don't know, but these are my guesses of what I think.
Mm-hmm.
One would possibly be someone who matches his level of income. 2 would be someone educated. So, that have some type of background to,
I'm a PhD.
Huh? What'd you say?
I'm a PhD.
I'm a PhD, yeah. So you think we want education?
So I would say educated, making the same amount that making at least probably the same amount as he does, just from my little speculating with watching men's post. What else? And I guess, honestly, probably good sex. Because that's always probably going to be on the list. I'm not a man.
All right.
I don't know. I can't talk for. I don't know what would I feel like y'all would care about being, satisfied. So yeah, those are my three that come to mind right now anyway.
No, that's interesting, honestly. That you think we want someone who's on our level financially.
Look at all the 50-50
And
conversations.
I do see a lot of 50-50 conversations. And I spoke about that a little bit earlier, but I think that's all a lie. That's what men are being told women want. And that's kind of what we're being told, that, equality this, equality that, when in reality, women actually don't want an equal partner. They want someone who's stronger, smarter, and more successful than themselves. But not to stray too far from the conversation. So finance, education, and then sex.
Don't judge my answers, y'all. What came to mind in just the spur of the moment of thinking.
I would say you said those answers because that's what you look for in a man. Those are the traits that you look for in men. Yeah.
I disagree. I legit was intentionally trying to think like a man just now.
But if you generally try to think like a man, right, you would know that most men, to some degree, don't actually care about finances because we're expected to be the provider to begin with.
You think
Right?
so?
Now, dating may be a little bit differently, but in the long run, when men have families, they get married, they are expected to be the provider. So having a girl who makes a whole bunch of money or makes the same amount of money as them isn't necessarily that high on the list, because we're
Well,
naturally.
teach me something, because I'm trying to learn, y'all, man. Teach me something.
I'm gonna tell you. I just gotta, I gotta break down your arguments point by point.
Go for
Right.
it.
So then we have the education component, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women are actually in higher attendance in colleges than men. So they actually, I think they're on pace to out graduate men in a few years. So that actually has never really been a factor if you really look at it. We never really cared about women's education and it goes along the same line of like not caring about their income, because it's just like, how many times have you seen a rich guy with a woman who barely finished high school? It happens all the time. But they really look for beauty first rather than anything. So education, not that far on the list. Do men want a complete bimbo who can't have a conversation? No. But I think as long as she has some type of education and can speak and can communicate, we'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
What was your last one? Good sex?
I mean, that was kind of in the ballpark of looks and feels and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like I care about booty,
You see, that's another thing I think women want in men. I'm going to say women want that in men. I think men are a little bit more lenient on taking a woman who's not as sexually experienced and actually like molding her into like what he wants sexually. But if you take a woman, right, and she's dating, and you have a guy who's like bad at sex, let's say he's like, he finishes real quick, right, doesn't know anything about his own body, then that's like a no-go. But men, on the other hand, they're a little bit more lenient. We're okay with teaching you about that part of the relationship.
Okay.
So yeah,
go for it.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I was about to say, you being a man, what do you? Because obviously he can't speak for all men, but what would be your three top, factors of whether you would, sort, or how you would sort?
Yeah. I think the main three things I would look for, and a lot of men instinctively look for, they may not say it out front, but instinctively we look for someone who's feminine, beautiful, and then the last one being inspirational. And then once you have all of those three factors, you can kind of just negotiate on the rest or help or mold the rest of what you like as to your own personal values or beliefs. But having someone who's feminine, that means like she's not a headache, she's peaceful to come home to, and then beautiful, right? And I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, if you could find maybe like a good 5 to 6, you're doing pretty well. But if you get into that upper echelon of 8, 9s, or 10s, then you're doing extremely well. But those also come with other major side effects. And then inspirational, a very key component. I think, there's a saying, behind every good man is a good woman. And there's definitely some truth behind that, because women have a tongue that can hurt a man and bring him down to his lowest. But then on the other side of that, they have a tongue that can lift him up, bring him up to his highest, right? And it's all about how you use it, what you say to him, your words, your affirmations to him, all of that. So that's definitely a main component. If you have those 3 components, I think you'll go far.
I dig it. I'm mentally noting that back here because I am in this little ghetto dating space. So
What has been ghetto about it?
What's ghetto about it?
Yeah, people always say that, or the dating pool has piss in it.
So for me, I've never really dated in my adulthood. Like, how people have had those, whole phases, both men and women, everybody's had a whole phase, or, just getting out and being in the dating world or the dating space. I've never really done that because I've been married most of my adult life. So for me, this past year really had felt ghetto because I'm used to being a wife. I'm used to, just focused on my household, my tribe, my clan, not this kind of back into getting to know people and sorting and figuring out who can go the long haul and who can't. And it's just ghetto to me because it just feels like work versus, I don't know, it just feels different. It's foreign to me because it's new to me because I've never really dated. The first marriage, like I told you, was a month and a half later, and that one lasted for 4 years. And then the second one, it probably was a year gap, if that, and I was married, right, like engaged and married, like literally probably the following year or so later.
Well, let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10,
Shoot.
and you can't use the number 7.
Why?
Because that's the default answer most people will just come to. But on a scale of 1 to 10, you can't use 7. Where would you rank yourself in terms of looks?
Okay. Personally, I would rate myself in terms of looks. Since I can't do 7, I don't think I'm ugly. I think I look pretty, beautiful. I like me. So I'll say 8.
You put yourself up. Okay.
Say a 7, 6, or 8. That's where I'll go. You said not a 7.
That's 6 or 8. That's 2
right.
levels right there. So which one is it, 6 or 8?
I would say 8.
You saying 8? Okay. Now over here,
What would you say?
I'll let you know. 8, 9s, and 10s.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're considering yourself to be up there with Rihanna, Tyler, and Beyonce.
That's what they consider 8s. That's what
I mean, if you look at a scale of 10, if you look at a scale of 10 and you can't use 7 and you're going towards the 8, 9s, or 10s, you're borderline.
So I gave you my opinion about me. Now, what society's opinion is their opinion. What your opinion is going to be your opinion. But that's my opinion about myself. I don't think I'm perfect.
Do you not take into consideration the outside factors of the world when you're making that opinion?
No.
About yourself?
No.
You don't take into consideration how other women look?
Personally, no, I don't.
Well, I mean, that could explain a lot then. That could explain a lot.
That's it. Absolutely. Nobody else, when you ask me that.
You have to know where you rank, right? So this episode, we talked a lot about the 6-figure ranking. That's a ranking, if you want to believe it or not. It's a ranking. It's a ranking that tells you if you're doing well in life or you're kind of not doing well in life, right? You have that median number. So
Yeah,
it's a
we
clear.
rank for like responsibilities and what you do and like activities and stuff like that. But as far as your looks, from my like in my perspective, I don't feel like nobody can tell you that you're a, 4 or you're not a this or you're not that based on personal preference as far as how you feel about yourself for that question. Like, yeah, the rank is, and that's there. I feel like for other
Well, who's the main consumer of female beauty?
definitely women. I'm not in that.
Women are the main consumer of female beauty.
As
Who
what you mean? As far as hold on, give me clarity before I answer.
who
What do you mean?
which I don't want to break the answer down for you, but it's pretty simple. But
Who by?
which gender values female beauty more?
Okay, in that case, probably men.
Men. Okay. We are the direct consumer of female beauty,
Yeah.
right? So if
As far as
we're
that,
we're the market, right? Does the market not dictate what the value of something is? Like if you have a bottle of wine and the consumers know this bottle of wine should cost $8, but the store is selling it for 16. There's a problem there. You see that?
so so I get what you're saying, and I'm gonna circle it right back to how I feel.
But it doesn't matter how you feel.
It
That you have to get your feelings out of it.
That's fine. That's fine, and I hear that part too, but I don't feel like we can, compare ourselves to objects like wine bottle, like wine or jewelry or cosmetics even, or cars that are
You most definitely can.
now. I don't.
Men compare themselves to the 6-figure number all the time. So why is it that we can't?
You're comparing
And we're not comparing. So we're
number
just
and
simply
look,
making an analogy to the situation.
but you just asked me about looks, not money.
Right.
Those are two different departments, in my opinion.
But what you look for it's going to be two different departments because what you look for in men is going to be different than what we look for in women, right? Going back to the
Absolutely.
feminine, beautiful, inspirational beauties on there is one of the main components.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing where you lie in terms of beauty is important to men because now you know where you rank and what type of value you have to bring to a man if you do meet that high 6-figure earner. You know what I'm saying?
I still feel like we mixing money with looks. You asking me about looks, right? That's
Right.
what
Yes.
that's this foundation.
Looks to the man who's bringing in the money.
Huh?
I'm talking about looks because we're talking about what you bring to the table or what kind of value you add to the man who has the money, the 6-figure earner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all rankings. But
Right. So like I get what you're saying, but it sounds like it sounds like you're saying that ranks are based on like so whatever. So I can't. My answer was what 8, right?
8.
I said
Answer
8,
was 8.
and you said that's up there with Rihanna and Beyonce and dot dot dot.
And Tyler, yep.
That's what society said, right?
That's what men say.
That's what men say, right?
Mm-hmm.
My man might not say what the majority of men say. So me personally, I would not care what society and majority of men feel. Like majority of men on this live right now can say I'm a 2. That wouldn't matter to me. I still feel like I'm an 8. So how you feel or how they feel or how anybody feel, in my opinion, I don't feel like it's valid and it's not going to carry me for my journey, my life, my being, my doing. Like people are going to feel how they feel, and that's perfect. Everybody.
No, I get that. And you can feel like an 8. But what I'm saying is, does that energy is that energy reflecting how you're dating? What I'm saying is you can feel like an 8, but is that energy reflecting how you're dating? So if you go into the marketplace, like I said, go into the marketplace feeling like an 8, then you might possibly overlook those guys who are 4s and 5s and would actually make good partners, right? And you meet that higher echelon guy who is, if you were to grade him on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe he's a 6 or he's an 8 himself. And not just in terms of looks, because women don't just go for
Who's
looks.
that? That's what I'm saying. In terms of looks, I don't feel like nobody can determine that. That's just my opinion.
Right. But I'm saying on the man's perspective, not on the man's perspective, but on the woman's perspective, women don't go just based on looks. So that's why we have that number, that figure, that 6-figure earner, right? So let's say you do meet that 6-figure earner, and you come into the dating market thinking, oh, well, I'm an 8.
I wouldn't even be.
There's gonna be a discrepancy there because he truly knows what an 8 is, and you have the mindset of an 8, but are you actually, like, should you actually be moving like an 8? Maybe you need to move kind of like a 5 or a 6, and there's nothing wrong with being a 5 or a 6 because that's average. An average looking is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Most people are average looking. It's fine. So do you kind of get what I'm saying now? Like, maybe if you come back to a more realistic ranking, maybe you would see better outcomes in dating.
I feel like that's if you're moving from a place of that scale. Like you just said, if I come into a situation, I'm not like thinking, I'm not in the headspace of, ooh, I'm an 8. My mindset wouldn't even be thinking like that in the first place. Because I'm not moving from a scale. Like I don't know if you like, I'm not moving from that place. Some people might move in their dating space that way. And I also did give a disclaimer that this dating space is completely new for me. I'm used to just already this part being done and not cared about, not talked about, none of that. So, so it's new for me. However,
but you do want to be married again, right?
I'm open to being married again.
Would you be okay with just being a long-term girlfriend for the rest of your life?
Negative. Definitely not.
So what's the alternative? The only other alternative is getting married or being single.
Married or staying single. So those are my options at this point.
Which one do you want more, though?
Which one I want more? Definitely would be companionship. If I want to be honest, I like companionship. I like.
It would be marriage.
Yeah, definitely marriage.
So that's why it's good to have these conversations, because now it's like, okay, you have a more realistic view of where you rank in terms of, meeting that high value. I wouldn't even say high value, but that high earner guy.
Okay. I'm listening.
Okay. What do you think about, so you said you want marriage. What do you think about sharing a guy? Sharing that high earner?
Sharing anybody is a no for me.
Why is that?
It's a no for me. It just it doesn't align with my lifestyle and my peace. Not anything really to do with insecurity. More than it is, I guess, the principle and just respect, and just that's it don't flow for me. What works, some people okay with the poly world and open relationships and sharing. For me, I think it's risky, it's uncomfortable, it don't work for me. And the most prettiest way I can deliver that without offending those in the poly space, it doesn't work for me. I don't like to share.
Hey, say your thoughts. We don't hold back here.
I do not like to share.
Open dialogue, but you don't like to share. Okay, got it.
But I'm not sharing my man.
Is that really your choice?
Is it really my choice? Absolutely no, it's not my choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my choice. If he want to be shared, then he's just not mine, and then I'll exit as I need to. But I can't make, of course, nobody say, "Oh, you're only mine." Absolutely not, being possessive. But
so the reason why I bring this up is because recently in the media, the internet space, you have a celebrity like Glorilla. She's a rapper.
Yeah.
You don't know. she made a shot at
I'm not.
NBA player.
He said, if you don't know.
Yeah, I gotta send a informant FYI for all my viewers out there. If you don't know Glorilla, she's a rapper. She shot her shot, basically making it known that she wanted a certain NBA player.
Oh.
And his wife actually responded in favor of it.
Oh.
And
Really shoot your shot.
and I bring this up because it's just, if you have this high earner guy, he's a protector, a provider, listens to you, he professes to you, gives you everything that you need. He's basically everything.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that you'll let something like your ego get in the way of building that relationship even more? Why is the idea of sharing him such a negative thing when you know he's rare and ultra rare at that, if he's an NBA player, compared to, or I don't know how his wife looks, but compared to most NBA players' wives, where they don't really have much value outside of their looks, just like, what's the harm in sharing him possibly?
I don't think nobody ever said there's any harm in it. It just doesn't work for everybody. For some people, it works, and for some people, it doesn't. I know plenty of, peers who are in successful, polydynamics. For me, it just don't work for me. I'm okay. I don't see myself being, a sister wife. I don't see myself having two husbands. I don't see myself, nor do I care or desire for that. Like that desire isn't, there for me. Everything else could be perfectly great. But if my person who I was dealing with or was pursuing me decided, okay, well, hey, or even came into and say, hey, I want other women, that would dead it right then and there. That would be enough.
Well, what if I told you that 99.9% of men wanted other women?
You said want other women?
Yes.
That's perfectly fine.
There's 99.9% of men want other women.
What can we?
That means most men that you date want other women.
Okay. That would be my answer. Okay. That would be perfectly fine. It still wouldn't, whoever, would be shooting their shot with me, it still wouldn't deviate what I deem okay and works for me. Like, it's not going to be, flip flopped or reversed. You're not going to say, okay, well, what is the harm in not having multiple partners? That's not a question.
What's the harm in not having multiple partners?
Yeah, what is the harm in monogamous dynamics versus poly?
The harm is he's hiding his true intentions to keep you happy. He's hiding his true intentions to keep you happy. That's the harm.
That's assuming that man wants an extra partner. I don't feel.
I'm telling you, most men do.
Most men can, and that's absolutely okay. Now, what they do and what they want to do, I think, are two different, spaces. Like, I don't feel like
okay. So you're okay with him hiding his intentions as long as it makes you happy?
I don't think I'm not saying no. Don't hide. That's no. Don't hide it. We can.
I'm telling you, if every man had the option to keep you as his wife, and then have someone on the side and everything be okay, they would do it. But the fact that we do have this negative stigma on cheating, and
I feel like
exercising options, but
I feel like that's the biggest reason why people settle or end up allowing themselves to just be okay with the whole poly thing, to prevent the whole cheating space. Honestly, I feel like that's like, hey, since we're poly, that gives no less room for cheating, like you just said, for cheating.
Right.
However, that's absolutely okay for some people. My answer will still be no, I don't want to share. That's the plain and simple. I would not want to share with my man. I wouldn't have my man sharing me. So if it
No,
came,
it would definitely be closed on your end. Open on his.
if 99.9 men want it, that mean I'm just gonna have to wait for that 1% to find me, and either he will or he won't. And if he doesn't, I'll be absolutely okay with just me, myself, and I, and you know, not being in a relationship if it so happened to be that. That would be okay. It's not the worst thing in the world being single either.
I don't know. I think for women, being single is actually pretty detrimental. But
I
I
don't think
digress.
so. I know a couple nice boss ladies that's happily single because of all of the havoc and drama and conversations like these with relationships where it's to the point it's like, okay, well, F it. I'll be better off just single. I get people that become happily single. That's the thing. Maybe not majority,
Stop the
but
cap.
maybe not majority, but people can. I feel like it's possible to be happily single. Single, not saying that you're not dealing with nobody sexually. You can be single and still get your release off, right?
He belongs to the streets.
I guess so.
No, who
I
said
guess
that?
so.
That's assuming that you're doing it with everybody and everything. You can have a one.
Is that the message you really want to tell the young women of the world? You can still be single and get your rocks off, and it'd be okay until the end of time.
If you're single, what harm is it getting your rocks off? Who said
Really?
who don't have sex single?
Huh.
So now,
But is that the message we
so
should? Is that the message we should be like really promoting
are
to
singles
young women?
abstinent like during single spaces? Like nobody's having sex during their single?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, is that really the message we should be promoting right now?
My message I'm gonna promote all day, every day is do what's best for you. Because what works for somebody else may not work for you. Do what's
What
best
about what's best for your husband?
if you have a husband. Do what's best still for you, even if you have a husband. Do what's best.
No.
Yeah.
But it should be about attaining one as well, shouldn't it?
But if I said, like, prime example, if my ex and I, for example, matter of fact, this might be a little bit not probably the best analogy, but he wanted to, prior to us getting our divorce or whatnot, he wanted to move into another place. I wanted to rent out a room. Probably not the best example. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, you can, just because I may want something different than my partner doesn't like, it doesn't mean that that's the end of the world. Like, sometimes you can be okay with, all right, you can agree to disagree. And if it means that, okay, hey, we got to go separate ways, that's okay. It's not the end of the world because it doesn't align or it isn't harmonizing with one another after discussing and having a conversation of whatever, isn't meshing. Like, whether it's, I don't know, what any reason that caused people to get a divorce, I guess. Like,
Okay.
explain it, but I don't feel like you should be doing anything just for your partner. Happiness matters.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah, that's not a good message to promote. That's I think that's the message we've been promoting for the last couple decades. I think we've been promoting that message for the last couple decades, and I think that's why we're in the situation that we're in now.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Have you been married before?
I have not been married before.
Have you been to any marriage count like conferences or webinars or any of that?
Why do you ask?
I'm asking because a lot of I have. I've been I have. And I know for the most of my adulthood and just being in church and married, communities, a lot of spouses actually do stay for their partner. Even me with experience, I stay for my partner. My happiness was put on the back burner, on the backside for years because it was always making sure what does my husband want? What makes him happy? What does he want? And this, that, and the third. And a lot of people end up losing themselves because they're doing everything to make their partner happy versus making themselves happy. So that's why, for me, I think a message is if people are doing what makes them happy personally, then it's easier to sort and determine who fits and who doesn't. In my opinion, that's just my.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's wrong. I'm gonna say that's the wrong opinion to have. I'm gonna say that opinion is gonna perpetually keep you single. I think your husband, to a certain degree, does need to come first, because we're talking about a man who is your protector. He's willing. This man will be literally willing to die for you. Okay, if something happened, right? He is your protector. He's your provider, which means he's willing to sacrifice himself to provide for the household. He's going to do whatever it takes to provide for the household. He professes to you, which means he's emotionally intelligent. He knows how to communicate with you. He knows what not to say, what to say, and he's there for you when you're having a rough day. So to some degree, when men bring all of that and you can't even put him first in the relationship, that's who would take that on for marriage? Right? That doesn't sound like a good deal.
I am cracking up inside because, one, I feel like you have to already be married to. So you're obviously saying that this couple is already married and this man is supposed to be first. Or are you saying this couple is dating?
100%. He should be first.
He's supposed to be first.
100%.
He's supposed to be first from start to finish. That's what you're saying.
Well, I don't know. Are you religious at all? Are you religious at all?
Not anymore. No.
Not anymore. Were you Christian?
But no.
You weren't Christian?
No.
Okay. Well, if you were religious, most religious backgrounds have a hierarchy. And at the top of that hierarchy is God.
I'm familiar with religion and Christianity. Right. I grew up in it all my life.
So you understand the hierarchy: God, husband, wife, children. So why is it you believe that the man shouldn't come first?
That's after marriage. Even in
right, but you need to be a wife to get married.
No, what I asked you is that are you saying the man's supposed to be number one from Jump Street to end, or you're saying from marriage to end? That's my question.
So when you're dating, you don't. Okay, who else is coming before him when you're dating?
You're saying your partner's supposed to be number one while you're dating?
Yes. If you're dating for a husband, yes. If you're dating to get your rocks off, by all means, I don't care what you do. But if you're serious about dating, then he should 100% come first. Why wouldn't he?
I disagree, but we can agree to disagree, and that's absolutely okay. I'm not even about to sit here and try and explain it either. I just disagree, and it's okay. I don't believe your person should come number one from jump to finish at all. I feel like it can be it can backfire heavily when you do it, and that's my opinion. But I respect yours.
Well, all fellas out there, I forget the saying. It's like, go where you are considered, not where you're tolerated. All right. So basically, don't settle for anything else but number one. Now I'll just leave it at that. But do you have any questions for me about the podcast or anything you want to ask me?
My questions that I came today with were, one was, what do you feel like is the allotted time or space to take for healing or recovering after breakups before you get back into the dating space? What do you feel like that?
For men or for women?
Both.
It's going to be a little bit different for both, and it Varies based on age. So, I also believe that men actually love a lot harder than women do when it comes to relationships.
I agree.
Just because we invest a lot more financially, resource wise, emotionally. Men are typically more territorial, and that also comes into play with their women. And so I would say for men, if he's in the phase of his life where he's dating for a relationship, and depending on the length and the time, I would say he should get back on the ground running within 3 months.
Okay.
All right. Now, after 90 days, it's like, all right, come on, bro.
Okay. And women?
For women, now this varies heavily on the age and her timeline. If she's more serious about having children and getting married, she needs to put a little bit more emphasis in what she wants. So I would say if you're in that late 30 to 40 range, I would say a month. You have a month of recovery and you kind of need to get back out there because time is running short. But if you do have more time, say you're in your early 20s, maybe you can give it 3 months. But I would say if you're hitting that age and that point in your life where you're really serious about getting married and having children, a month should do it. A month should definitely do it.
Okay.
Why? What do you think about that?
I honestly think it probably depends on how long you've been in whatever relationship you're getting out of, honestly.
Not your goals.
No, I believe the goals is important too, because I see where you were coming with, especially with women in their, timeline of if they want to have extra babies and, continue their growing their family and so forth. I guess you're not too far off considering that. I probably would say more than a month for women, just because we're very emotional beings, and
Women move on quick though. I mean, I rarely believe that women leave a guy without having another guy lined up,
see, but
ready to go.
that's what's been done, but that doesn't mean that that's been effective. That's why I don't feel
Oh,
like
it's not effective.
that's why
100% not.
sometimes, even coming from experience, I moved on way too quick with month gaps, and so that's why I say more than a month. For a woman, I would say at least, honestly, I would say at least 6 months back to, yourself. 4 to 6 months. That's my
For
opinion.
for a woman,
For a woman, yes.
no matter her age,
No
or
her age, in my opinion.
4 to 6 months.
Because I feel like maybe not 4 to 6 months, maybe 3 to 4 months. I'll say 3 to 4 months for a woman. For probably both of them, honestly. Men
Why
and
would you need that much time?
just because I feel like when you're in a relationship, you change a lot.
Okay.
And it's important to, I feel like, just take that time to sit with yourself, be with yourself, heal, learn yourself. And I don't feel like you should rush to do that in just 30 days. I feel like you should take time to relearn yourself, rediscover, who you are, and just figure out where you're at. Because, like, it depends, like I said, depends on how long you've been in a relationship and what you coming out of and what that all entailed. But I honestly say at least probably 90 days, 4 months, 3 or 4 months would be my answer personally. I wouldn't say a month. I would say
Based on that answer, I'm curious. How long do you think the vetting / courting phase should be?
that is what I was going to ask you next too.
Because it's
Before
looking like you want for a wife, yeah. How long should a guy vet / court a woman to be his wife?
I would say a year. Personally, I would say a year. I feel like it's important to see a person in all seasons. That's what, and again, I'm no dating guru, y'all, because I'm learning. However, I would say a year since my coming out of my last relationships and the lessons and things that I've come across with my own experience, I've given, like, I purposely gave myself a year before really even jumping into, I guess, titles, with like a year to learn somebody and them learn me.
Oh, so you're saying a year just for him to make you his girlfriend? Is that what or
No, I'm saying a year for whatever we're discovering within that year. So a year to, if he wanted to wife me the next year, we've had a year to discover what that, like, if it mesh or not, if it harmonizes or not, if it aligns or not, versus jumping right into it before a year's time.
yeah, that's interesting. I'm a little bit different. I would say depending on the age, but if she is in that phase where she's really serious about getting married, I would say even 6 months is good. I don't think there's much you really need to know about a person if you're doing it the right way, where you have the proper procedures in place when it comes to vetting and vetting men. I don't think there's much you need to know. I don't think after 6 months, I think you get a pretty good gist of how that person is. But a year, definitely not bad either. So to rebuttal off of that, how long is too long then to be in that phase?
That's a good question.
Would you stay in the relationship for 2 years if it was just in that purgatory?
I don't know.
See? That's why I say 6 months, because if a man can make you wait a year, then he could easily make you wait 2 years. And then that's where intent comes into play,
Yeah,
right?
I could see that. I could see that. I think, yeah, 2 years, I guess past 2 years would be, I mean, so you're saying how long would you be in a relationship before marriage, right? That's what
Yeah.
your question was, right?
Yep. How long would be too long before you give it up?
I would say probably about 2 or 3 years for me.
2 or 3. So, all right, you're 33 now,
Mhm.
right? You're honestly willing to wait 3 years just being a girlfriend?
I
So
I would wait. I'd say 2. Let me not take the 3 off, and we'll just say 2. 2 years. 2
2
years.
years.
2 years. I don't think that's bad. Like, in my opinion, I would say 2 years. 3 years
Would
honestly wouldn't be horrible, in my opinion. But
Well, do you have kids?
you said, would I have more kids?
Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have a 15-year-old.
You're a 15-year-old. Okay. Do you want more kids, or is that
I'm open to one more, depending on my partner, of course. But
so
whoever,
you open?
I'm open to one more. I'm open to
Okay.
more.
Okay. Yeah. Did you ask a question about virtual dating platforms?
Virtual dating platforms, I guess.
This may have been another question.
Okay.
But yeah, do you have anything else you want to ask me or talk about?
Nope, go for it. I thought you was about to go into a virtual dating something, because a friend of mine was just talking about, what is it? Bumblebee?
Dating apps, yeah. Bumble.
Yeah. He was just asking me about it earlier today and how to, I guess, navigate, the dating apps these days. Like, some people don't be, I guess, knowing what to really say or how to really navigate it. I don't know too much about dating apps because I'm not really on them. I tried it for a very small window last year. I think it
Mhm.
was Facebook dating, and I can't even remember the other app. One of my friends mentioned it, but as quickly as I got on, it was just overwhelming, and I got right back off, like not even a week or so later. So
One
yeah,
thing I could tell you about dating apps is that most of the men on there just want to have sex.
I'm
I don't think it's a really good place to meet your partner. I think there's better ways to do it, but I mean, if you want to get your rocks off, like you promoted earlier, it's
I
definitely a
was
great
not
place.
promoting. I was not promoting that, you guys.
Okay, but Thank you everyone for tuning into the episode. We are logging off here. If you came into the live stream, don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more content. We are going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 p.m. So check me out. And we're gonna have guests along the way, more people to bring in. So yeah, Jay, do you want to shout your socials out where people can find you?
Sure. Thanks for having me, by the way. You and Miss April. This was fun and very educating, informative. My social media handles are Coach J, the GOAT, on just about everything. Yep, just Coach J, the GOAT, just J, the initial, not JAY.
All right, guys, you heard it here. We are wrapping this up. Thank you for joining the stream. We'll catch you later.
Peace.